Vande Mataram. Hello friends, I welcome you back to my channel Courtroom Battles. My name is Dr. Tushar Mandlekar. I did my LLM and PhD from Nagpur University and I was a faculty of law in Nagpur University 10 years ago. This is an exclusive channel specifically created for the purpose of discussions on law matters and the case laws. This channel gives you insight of the courtroom battles or the evolution of law this country has seen in last 70 years. If you are a student of law, or if you are a lawyer, or if you are interested into the law, this is the channel where you can come into and enjoy these courtroom battles. Dear friends, today we are going to look into the section 154 of the CRPC 1973, which mandates a police officer to register first information report. We have seen that the common citizen in this country are being harassed by the police officers time and again when they go to the police station officer to register their complaint. It's long time that citizens of this country are suffering. If a common man goes to a police station, it's a matter of common knowledge that the police officer sitting in his chair will naturally try to avoid to register a complaint for obvious reasons. More the complaints are registered, more is the crime which is reflected into his records, into his jurisdiction of the police station. So naturally a police officer avoids to register first information report. But if you go to the police station with a serious complaint of a cognizable offence like robbery, rape, theft, etc., the offence has to be registered as per the provisions of the section 154(1) of the CRPC. But this is not being followed. So it was a big question before the police authorities and the citizens of this country that whether provisions of section 154(1) are mandatory in nature or are merely discretionary in nature. So this question was dealt with by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in the landmark case called as Lalita Kumari versus State of Uttar Pradesh. According to the data of the NCRB and Dr. Malimat Committee's report, there were 60 lakhs FIR which were registered in India in 2012. But at the same time, it is observed by Honorable Justice Malimat that equal number of complaints were not registered. Section 154. Every information relating to the commission of a cognizable offence, if given orally to an officer in charge of a police station, shall be reduced to writing by him or under his direction and be read over to the informant. And every such information, whether given in writing or reduced to writing as aforesaid, shall be signed by the person giving it, and the substance thereof shall be entered into a book to be kept by such officer in such form as the state government may prescribe in this behalf. So this is section 154(1), which says that a complainant can go to the police station and even orally register his complaint. It is a duty of the police station officer to get that complaint reduced in writing and registered into the book. So this is what exactly it is called as FIR, that is first information report. So 154(1) in fact mandates a police officer to register an offence. But what was the debate? There were two sets of thoughts in this country. One was whether a preliminary inquiry is required to be done by the police station officer before registering an FIR. And second was the inquiry will follow later on, but the registration of FIR is must. So this was the question which was required to be answered by the Honorable Supreme Court. So today we are going to see how the Honorable Supreme Court has dealt with this question in Lalita Kumari's case. Now what is cognizable offence? Friends, cognizable offence is defined under section 2C of the Criminal Procedure Code, which says that an offence for which and a cognizable case means a case in which a police officer may, in accordance with the first schedule or under any other law for the time being in force, arrest a person without warrant. So this is the cognizable offence. Any police officer can arrest a citizen without the warrant. So section 154(1) deals with the registration of the FIR related to the information of the cognizable offence. So all those offences which are cognizable are defined in Schedule 1. Now there are some serious offences which I would like to quote as an example. Section 121, waging war on a state. Section 131, abatement of mutiny. Section 231, counterfeiting of coin. Section 272, adulteration of food or drink. Section 302, murder. Section 307, attempt to murder. Section 376, rape. All these offences are serious, cognizable and non-bailable. So these complaints are required to be registered. That is what the mandate of section 154(1) states. So the question before the Honorable Supreme Court was whether the registration of the FIR is mandatory under section 154 or whether a discretion lies with the police officer to conduct preliminary inquiry before registering the FIR. Now, this reference was made to the Honorable Supreme Court by the 3-bench judge in the same Lalita Kumari case in 2012. So there were case laws which were relied by the advocates who were arguing for the question 1 that the registration of the FIR is mandatory in nature. 3 case laws were prominently argued. 1. State of Haryana versus Bhajanlal, 1992, Volume 1, Supreme Court Cases 333. Number 2. Ramesh Kumari versus State of NCT, New Delhi, 2006, Volume 2, Supreme Court Cases, page 677. 3. Prakash Singh Badal versus State of Punjab, 2007, Volume 1, SCC, page 1. All these 3 cases were in fact decided by the Honorable Supreme Court, and the law was laid down stating that section 154(1) of CRPC is mandatory in nature and the FIR has to be registered. But there were counter arguments, my dear friends, which also stated that the registration of the FIR is a very serious thing and it is to be done very thoughtfully after conducting a preliminary inquiry. So dear friends, arguing for the second part, 4 important case laws were cited. P. Sirajuddin versus State of Madras, 1970, Volume 1, SCC, page 595. 2. Sevi versus State of Tamil Nadu, 1981, SCC, page 43. 3. Shashikant versus CBI, 2007, Volume 1, SCC, page 630. 4. Rajinder Singh Katoch versus Chandigarh Administration, 2007, Volume 10, SCC, page 69. So these case laws were argued, saying that preliminary inquiry is mandatory before registering the FIR. Now 2 views were there before the Honorable Supreme Court. The mandate of section 154 was in fact countered by the councils opposing the mandatory nature of the registration of the FIR. 3 things were argued. 1. That Article 21 and Article 19, that is right to life and freedom of movement, cannot be subjected to the mandatory nature of registration of the FIR without verifying that correctness or veracity of the complaint. Number 2. In technical or highly technical matters, the inquiry is necessary, such as the medical negligence cases or the CBI cases. And number 3, it was also stated that the discretion to the police officer needs to be utilized for the purpose of the inquiry to confirm himself to register an FIR. All these things were discarded by the Honorable Supreme Court, and Honorable Supreme Court finally stated that FIR must be registered. The Honorable Supreme Court in paragraph number 69 has relied heavily upon Lallan Chowdhury's case. Lallan Chowdhury versus State of Bihar. This was a landmark case. 2006, volume 12, SCC 229. We stated that the section 154 of the code casts statutory duty upon the police officer to register the case as disclosed in the complaint and then to proceed with the investigation. The mandate of the section 154 is manifestly clear that if any complaint or information disclosing a cognizable offence is laid before an officer in charge of the police station, such police officer has no other option except to register the case on the basis of such information. In Ramesh Kumaris versus State of New Delhi, the Honorable Supreme Court has held that the provision of section 154 is mandatory in nature and the police officer concerned is duty bound to register the offence for the information disclosing the cognizable offence. The genuineness or credibility of the information is not a condition precedent for registration of the case. That can only be considered after registration of the case. The mandate of section 154 of the code is that at the stage of the registration of a crime or a case on the basis of the information disclosing a cognizable offence, the police officer concerned cannot embark upon the inquiry as to whether the information laid down by the informant is reliable or genuine. The reliability or genuineness or credibility of the information are not condition precedent in the section 154. Hence, the Honorable Supreme Court finds that the information in whatever manner is received by the police officer has to be recorded into the book or the diary and the FIR has to be registered. The Honorable Supreme Court in Lalita Kumari's case in paragraph number 88 has clearly observed that the registration of the FIR entered on the basis of the information furnished by the informant under section 154(1) of the code or otherwise under section 157(1) of the code is obligatory in nature. The obligation to register FIR has inherent advantages. A. It is the first step to access to justice for a victim. B. It upholds the rule of law inasmuch as the ordinary person brings forth the commission of an cognizable offence to the knowledge of the state. C. It also facilitates swift investigation and sometimes even prevention of the crime. In both cases, it only effectuates the regime of law. D. It leads to less manipulation in criminal cases and lessens incidents of antedates FIR or deliberately delayed FIR. So it is clearly held by the Honorable Supreme Court that registration of the FIR is obligatory. In Tulia Kali versus State of Tamil Nadu, 1972, Volume 3, SCC 393, the Supreme Court held in Para 12 that first information report in a criminal case is an extremely vital and valuable piece of evidence for the purpose of corroborating the oral evidence adduced at the trial. The importance of the above report can hardly be overestimated from the standpoint of the accused. The object of insisting upon prompt lodging of the report to the police in respect of commission of the offence is to obtain early information regarding the circumstances in which the crime was committed. The Honorable Supreme Court in Para 19 further relies upon the Tapan Kumar Singh's case and states that the FIR is not an encyclopedia which must disclose every fact or details of the every offence or, for the matter, even details of the witnesses. The FIR is the first information report brought by the informant into the police station and it must only disclose the cognizable offence. It is the duty of the police officer thereafter to inquire exact status of the first information report and get into the root of the matter of the commission of the crime. The Honorable Supreme Court in Lalita Kumari's famous case has given certain directions in para number 111. Let us go to that direction which are mandatory in nature and every police officer has to obey these directions. 1. Registration of the FIR is mandatory under provision of section 154 of the code if the information discloses the commission of the cognizable offence, and no preliminary inquiry is permissible in such situation. Number 2, if the information received does not disclose cognizable offence but indicates the necessity of an inquiry, a preliminary inquiry may be conducted only to ascertain whether cognizable offence is disclosed or not. Number 3, if the inquiry discloses the commission of a cognizable offence, the FIR must be registered. In case where preliminary inquiry ends in closing the complaint, a copy of entry of such closure must be supplied to the first informant forthwith and not later than 1 week. It must disclose reasons in brief for closing the complaint and not proceeding further. So if the inquiry is done, it needs to be completed within 1 week and the closure report has to be given to the first informant. Number 4, the police officer cannot avoid his duty of registering offence if cognizable offence is disclosed. Action must be taken against any police officers who do not register the FIR if information received by him discloses a cognizable offence. So the action is proposed against the police officer. Number 5, the scope of preliminary inquiry is not to verify the veracity or otherwise of the information received, but only to ascertain whether the information reveals any cognizable offence. Number 6, as to what type of act in which cases preliminary inquiry is to be conducted will depend on the facts and circumstances of each case. The category of that cases in which preliminary inquiry may be made are as under: A. Matrimonial disputes, B. Commercial offences, C. Medical negligence, D. Corruption cases, E. Cases where there is abnormal delay or laches in initiating criminal prosecution. For example, 3 months delay in reporting the matter. Number 7. While ensuring and protecting the rights of the accused and the complainant, a preliminary inquiry should be made time-bound, and in any case it should be completed within 7 days. The fact of such delay and the causes of it must be reflected in the general diary entry. Number 8. Since the general diary or station diary or the daily diary is the record of all information received in police station, we direct that all information relating to the cognizable offences, whether resulting in the registration of the FIR or leading to an inquiry, must be mandatorily and meticulously reflected in the said diary, and the decision to conduct a preliminary inquiry must also be reflected as mentioned. So these directions were given, my dear friends, by the Honorable Supreme Court. Now what are the directions? These are mandatory in nature. All these directions of the Honorable Supreme Court were given in a constitutional bench, and the judgment was signed by 5 judges of the Honorable Supreme Court. So you must know that this is very important case for initiation of a criminal law in this country. Now even if there is a requirement of an inquiry as per the directions, what is more important is the inquiry has to be completed within 7 days. So section 154(1) of CRPC mandates the registration of the FIR. Section 154(2) of the CRPC mandates the police officer to give the copy of the FIR to the first informant. And this judgment, in fact, settles the law in this country about the FIR and the registration of the FIR. So a common man has received a justice by way of this judgment. So dear friends, this Lalita Kumari case is most important in the history of criminal justice. I request each one of you to recite this case, to know this case, and to quote this case in court of law. So if you are a citizen of this country and is seriously affected by the action of the police who is not registering your FIR, please show him this video or show him the copy of the judgment of the Lalita Kumari. I am sure no police officer will dare to throw you out of his police station. So citizens are entitled to get FIR registered once they disclose the information of a cognizable offence. If you are a lawyer, my dear friends, please make sure that you read this case law and cite this case law in courtrooms when you argue against the non-registration of the FIR or the arbitrary conduct of the police station officer in dealing with the cognizable offences. I hope you have liked this video. If you have liked it, please give your comment in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel and keep on watching Courtroom Battles.
बढ़िया